So the word Argentina includes 4 consonants, R, G, N, and T, and 3 vowels that are A, E, and I. Find the number of different arrangements using all 9 letters. Number of different arrangements using all 9 letters. So how do we do that? How many letters do we have in total? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay. 3, 6, 9. There are 9 letters in total. So it's 9 factorial from that. But then we look at the repetitions. A, there are 2 A's. We have 2 factorial because of that. Are there any other repetitions? R, G, E, N. There are 2 N's. So we have another 2 factorial because of that. Okay? So that's going to be your first part here. You'll see the answers to the permutations and permutation combination questions are going to be very short. बहुत ज़्यादा, mostly, sometimes you have to write down a lot of cases और फिर सोचना पड़ता है. But a lot of times they are very short और उस पे आपको बिल्कुल 2-3 steps के 3-4 marks मिल रहे होंगे अक्सर. So what do we get here? 9 factorial over 2 factorial over 2 factorial. What's this?
90720.
90720. ठीक है? You have to make sure that you write down this result. Do not just leave it in terms of factorials. कभी-कभी उसने उसका अलाउ किया होता है, कभी-कभी उसने इस आंसर के भी मार्क रखे होते हैं. So you should always write the answer at the end. Okay. Let's look at the second part. How many of these arrangements have a consonant at the beginning, then a vowel, then another consonant, and so on alternately? Okay, so we've got 4 consonants and we've got 3 vowels. और उसमें फिर आपकी repetitions भी हो रही हैं. Now let's think about it. So, how many consonants do we have in total? यहाँ पे इसके अंदर कितने consonants आ रहे हैं आपके पास? N 2 दफा आ रहा है, so there are 5 consonants in total. ठीक है? There are 5 of them. Vowels कितने हैं? There are 4 of them. इनको आपने क्या करना है? Separate करना है. ठीक है? And they are coming alternately. Right? They are coming alternately. इसका मतलब ये है कि कौन सा पहले आएगा, किससे स्टार्ट करेंगे? Can we start with a vowel? पहला आपका vowel हो सकता है?
No sir, the question says कि constant होना चाहिए शुरू में.
अच्छा उसने बता दिया, sorry. अच्छा उसने नाम भी बताया हुआ था. And it says they have to come alternately. Can we still, even if it was not given, let's say it says how many of these arrangements have consonants and vowels coming alternately? अगर ये भी उसने कहा होता, you cannot start with a vowel anyway. Why? Because then you have V, C, V, C, V, C, then V, and we have run out of vowels already. We have 2 consonants left. यहाँ पे इकट्ठे 2 तो नहीं लग सकते, because they have to come alternately. तो फिर एक हमें C क्या करना पड़ेगा? फिर से लगाना पड़ेगा. So essentially we have to start with a C. कि C ज़्यादा है ना, जो ज़्यादा हैं आपके, वो आपके ends पे आने पड़ेंगे. Is that okay? Is that point clear? कभी-कभी ऐसे भी होता है कि वो आपको नहीं बताता कि किससे स्टार्ट करना है. तो of course अगर alternately आ रहे हैं, तो फिर तो जो ज़्यादा हैं, आपको उसी से स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा. Otherwise वो alternately नहीं आ सकता. ठीक है? So this is what the situation is. Now, how many ways do we have for this? How many arrangements can we have for this? So let's talk about the consonants first. Consonants के number of ways of arrangement कितने हो सकते हैं? Consonants के number of arrangements कितनी हो सकती हैं? Anyone?
5 factorial divided by 2 factorial.
5 factorial. 5 factorial. Why? Because we've got 5 consonants. However, we've got n repeated. n 2 दफा आ रहा है. n क्योंकि 2 दफा आ रहा है, we have to divide that by 2 factorial. उसको से 2 factorial से divide करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है? And then we look at the vowels. How many do we have? We've got 4 of them. उनके arrangements कितने हो जाएंगे? 4 factorial. But then vowels, maybe you've got 2 A's. You have to divide by 2 factorial. And that's your total number of ways. Is this clear? Any problems with this?
सर 2 फैक्टोरियल जो है वो एक ही रेपिटेशन की वजह से है.
Yes, 2 factorial एक. So ये वाला 2 factorial एक ही repetition की वजह से है और ये वाला 2 factorial n की repetition की वजह से. All right. ठीक है?
Sir.
Yes.
So how does this consider the condition that they have to come alternately?
How does this consider the condition that they have to come alternately? So basically what we are doing is, you can actually draw boxes that might help you think.
सर वो बनाने से आपने पहले बॉक्सेस बनाई थी फिर लाइंस बनाई
Yes.
थी लाइक ये they won't come together.
Okay. Let's look at it this way. So we have 9 boxes in total. Got 9 boxes in total. 1 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, are these 9 boxes? Yes. अच्छा देखिए 9 boxes के अंदर the positions are fixed. The positions are fixed in the sense you have to have a consonant here, then another consonant here, then another consonant here, then another consonant here, then the other consonant here. आपने positions उनके fix कर दिए. They cannot move. That is the reason we are using 5 factorial here. If their positions were not fixed, in that case we would have just been using 9 factorial because फिर तो उनकी position change हो सकती है, तो वो कहीं पे भी जा सकता है. 5 factorial हम क्यों यहाँ पे use कर रहे हैं? We're using 5 factorial because the positions for consonants are fixed. They cannot move from there. Does that make sense? And similarly, for vowels as well, we have one vowel here, another here, another here, another here. Their positions are also fixed. They cannot change. तो इनके पास 4 ही options है. तो यहाँ पे 4 possibilities हैं, the 3 possibilities and 2 and then 1. So that's where this 4 factorial is coming from. If you had not fixed their positions, then we would not be considering them separately like this. Then we could just do 9 factorial. फिर तो उनकी कोई भी positions हो सकती थी. And then we would divide by 2 factorial and 2 factorial, just like we did in the previous part. But यहाँ पे alternately का मतलब है हमने वो fix कर दिया उनकी positions. अब consonants को place करने के we've got this many ways और इसको place करने के this many ways. Okay? Does that
Yes,
make
sir,
sense?
okay. Yes, sir, it does.
Here the question was that the consonants should be together and the vowels should be together. The answer will be the same, right?
If the consonants had to be together and vowels had to be together, then we would have two boxes like this. In one of them, you'll have 5 consonants. Let me just write them here. कौन से थे वो? Argentina था. So we have R, G, and 2 N, P, N. Then 4 vowels: A, E, I, and then another A. ये आपने सबको together कर दिया. You've got 2 outer boxes. उनकी arrangements होंगी. आपस में भी वो swap कर सकते हैं. Vowels left पे आ सकते हैं. Consonants right पे जा सकते हैं. We've got 2 factorial for that. And then 5 factorial for the consonants divided by 2 factorial because of this repetition of n. And then 4 factorial for the vowels divided by 2 factorial. So everything else would be the same there, except this 2 factorial, क्योंकि वो boxes भी interchange कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे हमने position की fix कर दी हुई है, तो वो change नहीं कर सकता. Is that okay?
Yeah, sir. Thank you.
Then S, A, T, and B. Okay. All right. Achha, so a choir consists of 13S, 12A, 6T, and 7B. So apparently these are people, so they're not identical. Okay. All right. They're not identical. So SAT will लिखना का मतलब नहीं है कि identical. These are different people. Okay. So a group consisting of 10S, 9T, 9A, 4T's, and 4B is to be chosen from the square. Okay. And how many different ways can the group be chosen? Is it combinations or permutations? Combination? क्या करेंगे? 13 में से आपको 10s choose करना है. So that's 13, C, 10. And out of 12 A's, we have to choose 4. Out of 6 T's, we have to choose. No, I'm sorry. I missed something there. Out of 12, we have to choose 9. Out of 6 T's, we have to choose 4. And out of 7 B's, we have to choose 4. And that's it. That's what you do in the first part. This is the number of different ways in which you can choose this group. Is that okay to everyone? Any problems? You good. 330. 330. Okay. Good. So that was the first part. Pretty straightforward. That's just 2 marks because of that. Now, the second part says, in how many ways can the 10 chosen S be arranged in a line if the 6 tallest stand next to each other? Are we choosing something here? We're not choosing something here. They're already chosen. We have 10S already. Yeah, हमने choose कर लिया है. ठीक है? And now we are doing what? We are arranging them in a line, and the 6 tallest have to stand next to each other. So what do? We've got 10 people. We've got 10 people in total. How many places are they going to stand in? 10 places. So we can think of it like this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 10 boxes like this. There are 10 places that we have. Now 6 tallest have to stand next to each other. They have to stand next to each other. So there are 6 of them, जिनके लिए हम एक single box बना देंगे, right? Because they can't be separated. So we remove some of these lines here. We say 6 tallest they are in this region. Okay. Now, how many possible arrangements do we have? We've got, for the outer boxes, we have 5 factorial. And then inside this box, there are also 6 people. We've got 6 factorial. So you've got 5 factorial into 6 factorial. And that's it. ये क्या आता है? 8, 6, 4. Writing this thing 5 factorial into 6 factorial and then 86400 is 3 marks. Okay? Because it's a thinking behind that. Right? Okay, let's look at the third part. Now we have the 4 T's and 4 B's in the group, and they stand in a single line with all T's next to each other and all B's next to each other. Okay. How many people do you have in total? 8 people. They stand in a single line. All T's have to be together and all B's have to be together. Okay. Then we have to find the number of possible arrangements. If 3 of the T's refuse to stand next to any of the B's, right? Okay, let's think about it. So first of all, there are 8 total people, 4 T's and 4 B's. They have to be next, so all T's have to be next to each other and all B's have to be next to each other. ये तो आपका confirmed है. They have to be next to each other. So we've got how many boxes? How many outer boxes? 2 outer boxes, right? वो इकट्ठे इस तरह से move करेंगे. So we make those 2 boxes. We have 4 T's here and 4 B's here. ये तो हो गया. ठीक है? अच्छा, B's को तो कोई मसला नहीं है. So they can be, you know, an arrangement. It doesn't matter. But 3 out of these 4 T's refuse to stand next to a B. So this position, so let's say there are 4 of them. So T1, T2, T3, T4. Let's say these people do not want to stand next to a B, and T1 is okay with that. So is position one aspect as only T1. So this is fixed. This has to be T1. Is that okay? Any problem with this? How many people are we left with here? You could have T2, T3, T4 here, and you have B1, B2, B3, B4 here. Is that okay? How many arrangements do we have now? Let me actually get a different color here and different color here. Okay. Now what about the outer boxes? We've got 2 outer boxes. ठीक है? अभी जो 2 outer boxes हैं, इनके कितनी ऑप्शन कितनी अरेंजमेंट्स हो सकती हैं? 2 factorial. There are 2 outer boxes, right? And then if we look at these B's, how many arrangements do we have for them? 4 factorial. There are 4 of them. But in the other box, 1 T is fixed. How many are we left with that we can arrange? We have 3 factorial left that we can arrange. उनका क्या हो जाएगा? We've got 3 factorial. Does that make sense to everyone? So this is the total number of ways that we have for this. And writing this and the final result, which is 24 times 6, that's 288. This one line is 3 marks. T1 किस साइड पर है? वही दूसरी पॉसिबिलिटियां. इसके कितने वेज हैं? अगर आप एक ये केस देखना है सर, दिस इज 4 फैक्टोरियल इनटू 3 फैक्टोरियल. ठीक है, अगर हम दूसरी पॉसिबिलिटी ना कंसीडर करें, अभी एक बॉक्स इस तरह का और बन जाएगा जिसमें यू गॉट बेसिस ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड B1, B2, B3, B4, but then T1 has to be fixed here, and then you have the others T2, T3, T4. That's why this 2 factorial is for. That's what this 2 factorial is for. दूसरा केस वो बन रहा है. That's the other case. Boxes आपने switch कर. Okay. So the letters of the word remembrance are arranged in a line. Find the number of arrangements if there are no restrictions. Okay. So remembrance word है, number of arrangements find करनी है without any restrictions. It's just 1 mark. So it should be pretty quick. तो आपने क्या करना है? Total letters कितने? 11 है. So it's going to be 11 factorial for that. Right? But then some of them are going to be repeated. So then कितने repeat हो रहे हैं? R. There are 2 R's, so we've got 2 factorial because of that. E. There are 3 E's, so we've got 3 factorial because of the E's. M, and then M. There are 2 M's, so we've got 2 factorial because of the M's. Is that it? B is coming only once. A and C. Oh yeah, so that's the 3 letters that are repeated. Those are the 3 letters that are repeated. Now we can just evaluate that using a calculator, and you'll get a. So permutation combinations के अंदर you're not going to leave your answers in factorial form. आपने हमेशा इसको evaluate करना है. अक्सर questions के अंदर उसने 1 mark रखा होता है, इसको evaluate करने का. Right, so make sure that you always do that. 1 mark question है तो उसमें तो mostly नहीं होता, but you should make it a habit to always evaluate it to a number. और आपने वो number पूरा लिखना है. इसमें 3 significant figures का आपने नहीं ध्यान रखना. Just write all the numbers. सारे numbers लिख देने. ठीक है? So what do we get from this? 37. Okay, so that was the first part. Okay, pretty straightforward. Let's look at the second part now. Okay, find the number of different arrangements which start and finish with the letter M. अच्छा, first letter M होना चाहिए और last letter भी M होना चाहिए. ठीक है? So we can have, you can either draw boxes or you can draw dashes like this. It's a choice. So we've got the first letter M. First M होना चाहिए, and then the last letter is also M. ठीक है? How many letters are we left with in the middle? There are 9 letters in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. ठीक है? There are 9 letters in the middle. अब इसकी ये arrangements कितनी होगी? 2 ही M थे ना हमारे पास, तो M तो खत्म हो गए. अभी जो M को आपने fix कर दिया. 1 M here and 1 M here. Okay? अब दरम्यान में कितने letters रह गए बाकी? You've got 9 factorial left. So you've got 9 factorial because of that, because of these letters in the middle. But then, how many of them are repeated? We still have 2 R's, so we divide by 2 factorial because of that, and we still have 3 E's in the middle, so we divide by 3 factorial because of that. ठीक है? Because यहाँ पे आपको पता है कि 2 R's आ रहे हैं और 3 E's आ रहे हैं, और फिर बाकी letters हैं जो भी आपको 4 letters बचते हैं. So this is going to be the number of ways that we got for this. Do we multiply this by 2? तो क्योंकि M भी जो है वो
identical है तो वो divided by 2 पे होता है.
लेकिन वो so वो identical हैं तो M की arrangements करने की जरूरत नहीं है, या तो उसको वैसे ignore कर दें. अगर आप उसको consider करना भी चाहें तो आप कर सकते हैं कि अच्छा M को arrange करने के कितने ways हैं? 2 factorial, but then they are identical, so you also divide by 2 factorial, so it doesn't really matter. right? Identical है तो identical objects के arrangement आप consider करते नहीं हो, because it doesn't really matter. M swap भी कर दें, it's still the same thing, right? So that's 9 factorial over 2 factorial into 3 factorial. That's what you get here. Is that okay to everyone?
Yes, 30240.
30240. So that's the number of ways that we've got there. 30240. Okay, that was the second part. Okay, let's look at the next one. Find the number of different arrangements which do not have all 4 vowels next to each other. Okay, now that's slightly tricky. Do not have all 4 vowels next to each other. What do we understand from this?
Some of them can be together and some of them cannot. So हम all 4 vowels को एक इकट्ठे treat करके उसका आंसर निकालेंगे and then we'll subtract it from the answer part A वाला answer, the total arrangement.
Yes, that's very good. So all 4 cannot be together. That means कि ये हो सकता है कि EA हो जाए, right? या EE हो जाए. This is acceptable, but this is not acceptable. EE, AE सारे इकट्ठे नहीं हो सकते. In whatever order, सारे इकट्ठे नहीं आने चाहिए. ठीक है, ये acceptable नहीं. ठीक है, हम क्या करेंगे, इन सबको इकट्ठे होने वाला केस निकाल लेंगे और टोटल में से माइनस कर देंगे. We already have the total तो हमने first part में फाइंड कर लिया था, right? If there are no restrictions, we know that total में से together वाला केस माइनस कर देंगे. ठीक है, now how do you figure out the number of cases in which all 4 vowels are together? अच्छा, सबसे पहले देखें जो आपने इकट्ठे रखने हैं उनके लिए क्या करेंगे, we will make one box. एक बॉक्स बना लेंगे. So let's do that. EEEA, we make one box for that. So बस क्या आ रहा है, EEEA, ये 4 letters इस बॉक्स के अंदर आ रहे हैं. How many places are we left with? Total 11 थे, 11 में से 4 निकाल दिया. We have 7 left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you want, you can make boxes here. That's fine. You can represent them with dashes. So that representation itself doesn't matter. आप इसमें boxes बना के कर सकते हो. बाकी के लिए या फिर आप इसमें dashes लगा सकते हो. Dashes थोड़े से quick होंगे. Boxes बनाने में time लग सकता है. But that's your choice. Okay. So how do we arrange them now? So हमें क्या करना है, all vowels being together के number of cases निकालने हैं. अभी कितने होंगे? What we do is we look at the total number of boxes that we have. अच्छा, so हमने पहले boxes तक किया हुआ है, तो if you are more comfortable with that, I'll just actually do that here. हमारे पास बाकी boxes कितने बचे? Total boxes कितने होंगे? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So how many total boxes do we have now? We've got 8 boxes in total, right? There are 8 boxes in total. So how many arrangements do we have for those boxes? We've got 8 factorial arrangements. ठीक है, ये जो outer boxes हैं उनको arrange करने के कितने ways हैं? There are 8 factorial ways that we've got for that. Okay, but then what about these letters that we have in that single box? इनको भी तो arrange कर सकते हैं different ways के अंदर. What's the number of ways that we've got for that? 4 letters हैं, so it's going to be 4 factorial, but then 3 of them are identical. That is going to be 3 factorial. But are we missing something? I just realized we are missing something. Is that what we get here, or are we missing something here?
Sir,
Is that going to be the number of ways that we've got for? Sorry?
Nothing, sir.
So I'm asking, is this correct?
Oh, identical M.
Yes,
or
so
R?
there are other letters as well. Yes, so there are other letters as well that are repeated. So keep that in mind. I was just about to forget them. So keep that in mind. E's तो आपके पास यहाँ पर आ गए हैं तीनों, लेकिन there are 2 other letters जो यहाँ पे repeat हो रहे हैं. There are 2 M's here and there are 2 R's here. ये जो बाकी 7 letters हैं, में 2 M और 2 R हैं. You'll have to divide that 8 factorial by 2 factorial and 2 factorial because of that. Okay, so 2 M's के लिए divide by 2 factorial and 2 R's के लिए divide by 2 factorial. और जो अंदर वाले letters हैं उनके लिए we are doing this. So this is what we get from that. So this is the number of ways that we've got for all vowels being together. Does this make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
सबको? So what do we get from this?
40320.
40320. That's what we get.
Sir, मेरा different answer आ रहा है.
Okay, let me confirm this. 8 factorial divided by 4 into 4. That's, yeah, this is correct. 40320 ये आना चाहिए.
ठीक.
एक दफा दोबारा आप चेक कर लें. Should be getting this. अच्छा, लेकिन हमने क्या करना था? हमने तो इनको separate करना था. We wanted not all 4 vowels together. तो हम क्या करेंगे? Not all vowels together. What's going to be the number of cases for that? First part का जो आंसर था total, उसमें से माइनस कर देंगे ये 166,3,200 minus 40320, and that's going to give us the result, right? Total में से together वाला case minus कर. Yes,
1,622,880.
1,622,880. So that's the number of cases that we've got for this case. Any problems with this? Clear है सबको?
Yes sir, ठीक है, समझ आ गई.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Last part. Part 4 में वो कहते हैं find a number of different selections which contain no M's and no R's and at least 2 E's. सबसे पहले इसने statement लिखी हुई है 4 letters from the letters of the word remembrance are chosen. So out of those 11 letters, we are choosing 4 letters. Choose कर रहे हैं, order is not important, so it's combination. आपने क्या find करना है? आपने find करना है the number of different selections that contain no M's and no R's and at least 2 E's. Okay, now let's think about this. Let me write that here, remembrance. Okay, इसमें से 4 letters select करने. We don't want any M's. We don't want any R's. M और R नहीं select करने. We want at least 2 E's. अच्छा, अब देखिए combinations में जो repetitions आती है ना आपके पास, उसको हमारे पास directly handle करने का कोई तरीका नहीं होता. उसको मतलब एक single step में जिस तरह हमने ऊपर किया था, हम permutation arrangements के अंदर तो क्या करते हैं, divide कर देते होते हैं, right? उससे repetition वाली arrangements होती हैं, उनको उससे हम divide कर देते हैं. Permutations के अंदर we have a direct method for that. In combinations, we don't have anything like that. Combinations के अंदर you'll see in a lot of cases, you have to list down. In a lot of questions, you've got to list down the possible cases that you have. आपको different cases देखने पड़ते हैं, उसको list down करना पड़ता है, right? आप directly नहीं कर सकते, आपको cases individually list करने पड़ता है, ठीक है? And you'll see that being a theme for in a lot of questions that involve combinations, कि आप वो सारे cases list down करते हो, उन सबको add करते हो, right? So for example, in this case, what do you have to do? We have to choose 4 letters. Out of these 11 letters, we've got to choose 4. लेकिन उसमें क्या restrictions हैं? M नहीं आने चाहिए. M को तो हम निकाल देते हैं. M को तो हम select कर ही नहीं सकते. R's नहीं आने चाहिए. R को भी निकाल दिया. वो भी नहीं आ सकते. We're left with 7 letters. बाकी हमारे पास 7 letters रह गए. अब उन 7 letters में से हमने क्या करना है? 4 choose करना. और क्या restriction है कि 2 E's होने चाहिए कम अज कम. Okay, कम अज कम 2 E's होने चाहिए. How many E's do we have in total? We've got 2 and 3. 3 E's in total. ठीक है? हम क्या करेंगे, हमें ये देखना पड़ेगा कि अगर हम 2 ई सेलेक्ट कर लें तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं, वी कैन हैव ई, ई, 2 ईज आगे, एंड यू गॉट 2 अदर लेटर्स, ई इसके अलावा बाकी में से कोई दो लेटर्स होंगे, ठीक है। इसकी कितनी पॉसिबिलिटीज है हमारे पास, लेट मी एक्चुअली डू इट दिस वे, दैट माइट बी इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड। या तो हमने ई सेलेक्ट करने हैं कुछ, या हमने करने हैं ई के अलावा कोई और चीज अदर देन ई। अच्छा, अब क्या क्या केसेस हो सकते हैं, एक केस ये हो सकता है यू गॉट 2 ईज, तो बाकी ई के अलावा बाकी कितने लेटर्स हो सकते हैं, 2 हो सकते हैं, बिकॉज टोटल 4 होना चाहिए ना, टोटल लेटर्स तो 4 होने चाहिए, सम 4 होना चाहिए। दूसरा केस क्या हो सकता है, यू हैव 3 ईज, तो ई के अलावा बाकी लेटर्स कितने होंगे, यू हैव 1 अदर लेटर। दीज आर द 2 केसेस दैट वी गॉट, ठीक है। अब ई टोटल कितने हैं, वी गॉट 3 ईज इन टोटल, वी गॉट 3 ईज इन टोटल। तो हम यहाँ पे क्या करेंगे, तो हमने फाइंड क्या करना है, द नंबर ऑफ डिफरेंट selections that contain no m's and no r's, okay। e's total कितने हैं, they are total 3 e's, तो हमारे पास क्या हो गया, यहाँ पे 2 e's आ गए और बाकी 2 लेटर्स रह गए। कितने लेटर्स थे बाकी, 4 लेटर्स थे, 4 में से हमें क्या करना है, 2 लेटर सेलेक्ट करने हैं, बाकी 4 में से हमें कोई भी 2 लेटर सेलेक्ट करने हैं। हाउ डू वी डू दैट, दैट्स गोइंग टू बी 4C2। देखें ईज तो सेलेक्ट हो चुके हैं ना ऑलरेडी, वो तो आपने डिसाइड कर लिया कि 2 सेलेक्ट करने हैं। अब 4 में से 2 आपने बाकी लेटर सेलेक्ट करने हैं, दैट्स गोइंग टू बी 4C2, ओके। एंड द सेकंड केस वी गॉट 3 ईज ऑलरेडी सेलेक्टेड और एक लेटर आपने और सेलेक्ट करना है, कितने में से, वी गॉट 4 टोटल लेटर्स, 4 में से वी गॉट टू सेलेक्ट 1 मोर, that's going to be 4C1, ठीक है। इन दोनों को हम इवैल्यूएट कर लेंगे, इन दोनों को ऐड कर देंगे, ये 2 पॉसिबल केसेस हैं आपके पास। क्या आ जाता है इसमें, 4C2 is 6, 4C1 is 4, just add both of them, 6 plus 4, and that is equal to 10. There are 10 possible cases in which you have at least 2 e's, okay। 10 में at least 2 e's आपके पास आ रहे हैं। Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, this is one way to think about this in this case। एक और तरीका इसका ये भी हो सकता था, इस पर्टिकुलर एग्जाम्पल के अंदर आपने 4 लेटर सेलेक्ट करने थे, ई, और बाकी आपके पास 2 रह गए हैं स्पेसेस, 4 लेटर सेलेक्ट करने थे, एटलीस्ट 2 ईज तो होने ही चाहिए, उसमें तो आपके पास कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है, 2 ईज तो आपने सेलेक्ट करना ही करना है, ओके, 2 ईज तो सेलेक्ट आपने करना ही है। अब बाकी लेटर्स आपके पास कौन से बच गए हैं उसके अलावा, अगर आप बाकी लेटर्स देखें, दे आर ऑल डिफरेंट, सो यू गॉट रिमेम्बरेंस, तो बाकी लेटर्स आपके पास क्या बच गए हैं, MEMB, so you've got B, and then you've got A, N, C, और एक E. These are the letters that you're left with. They're all different letters. 2 E's आपने ऑलरेडी सेलेक्ट कर लिया, मैं वो तो मैं यहाँ पे देख लिया पहले, राइट, 2 E's हमने पहले सेलेक्ट कर लिया, तीसरा E हमारे पास यहाँ पर आ गया, ठीक है, 2 E सेलेक्ट कर लिया, तीसरा E हमारे पास उधर आ गया। अब ये बाकी 5 लेटर्स में से हमें कितने सेलेक्ट करने हैं, 2 सेलेक्ट करने हैं। हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ वेज डू वी हैव फॉर दैट, 5C2, and that's going to give you directly 10. So it's a 3-mark question. It's a 3-mark question. You could just write 5C2, that equals 10, and that's the result. So permutation combinations, man, this happens a lot. There's going to be very short working. The number of marks is going to be much higher than that. आपने उससे confuse नहीं होना, because इसमें marks आपके सोचने के होते हैं, right? Otherwise answers अक्सर 1 line में 2 lines में आ सकते हैं. So you can do it both ways. Okay, let's try this. We have to find the number of different ways that the 13 letters of the word accommodation can be arranged in line if all the vowels are next to each other. Okay, we've done something very similar just right now. So we can be a bit quick about it. Number of different ways that we can arrange 13 letters. There are 13 letters in total. Let me make some boxes here. "13 letters hai. All the vowels have to be next to each other. So now let's count the number of vowels that we have. We have A, O, A, I, O. So there are 6 vowels. So we want one box that contains all of those vowels. So we've got how many A's there? We've got 2 A's and 3 O's and 1 I. These are the 6 letters that we've got there. Okay. ये आपके पास उस box के अंदर आ गया. Now, how many letters are we left with? We're left with 7 letters. So we've got 7 other boxes now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So how many boxes do we have in total? There are 8 boxes in total. So how many ways do we have to arrange them? 8 factorial, but then do we have any other letters being repeated? We've got 2 C's. Keep that in mind. We've got 2 M's. And anything else that's repeated? No. So the others are D, P, N. C or M repeat हो रहे हैं. So you've got 2 factorial and 2 factorial for both of them. 2 factorial for C's and 2 factorial for M's. ठीक है, ये outer boxes को arrange करने के ये आपके पास base हो गया. Okay. Now, what about these letters in the middle? इनको arrange करने के कितने ways होंगे? There are 6 in total. 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial because of A's and 3 factorial because of E's. You just evaluate that and you get your result.
604.
You clear?
Yeah.
604.
800.
800. So that's the result. Now the second part says there are 7 Chinese, 6 European, and 4 American students at an international conference. 4 of the students are to be chosen to take part in a television broadcast. So it's unrelated to the first part actually. So find the number of different ways the students can be chosen if at least 1 Chinese and at least 1 European student are included. So we want at least 1 Chinese and at least 1 European. Yeah, number of ways निकाल लें. Again, बहुत सारे different cases हो सकते हैं, right? At least 1 का मतलब है कि 1 भी हो सकता है, 2 भी हो सकता है, 3 भी हो सकता है, 7 तक कुछ भी हो सकता है, right? There are a number of cases like that. अच्छा, total कितने choose करने हैं? 4 choose करने हैं.
Total से 4 करने हैं, तो 6 cases ही बनते हैं.
Yeah, so we have a number of cases, right? So हम क्या करना पड़ेगा, हमें वो cases बनाने पड़ेंगे, list हम करने पड़ेंगे, ठीक है? So what's the total that we've got? Now this is how we actually think about it. We've got some Chinese people. How many are there? There are 7 in total. We've got some European. They are 6 in total. And we've got some American and they are 4 in total. ठीक है, आपने लिस्ट कर लिया कि अच्छा ये आपके पास 3 categories हैं. These are 3 categories of people that we've got. अब क्या क्या possibilities हो सकती हैं? Total आपके पास 4 आना चाहिए. Keep in mind, we want at least 1 Chinese and at least 1 European. American के ऊपर कोई restriction नहीं है. You can ignore Americans, right? That's possible. लेकिन Chinese at least एक, Chinese भी at least एक होना चाहिए, European भी at least एक होना चाहिए. Okay, now let's list down the cases that required. Total 4 होना चाहिए. We can have 1 Chinese, 1 European, and 2 American. That's one possibility, right? 1, 1, and then 2 American. Like that, we make case miss now. Chinese 1, 1, 2 हो गया. Chinese 1, and then 1 European, 1 and 2 American. एक केस फिर आप चाइनीज 1 के साथ और क्या केसेस हो सकते हैं? यू कैन हैव 2 यूरोपियन एंड 1 अमेरिकन, और 1 चाइनीज के साथ और क्या हो सकता है? 3 यूरोपियन एंड 0 अमेरिकन, राइट? 1 चाइनीज के साथ ये 3 केसेस आपके पास हो गए। अच्छा, 2 चाइनीज के साथ क्या हो सकता है? यू कैन हैव 1 यूरोपियन एंड देन 1 अमेरिकन। 2 चाइनीज के साथ ये भी हो सकता है, यू कैन हैव 2 यूरोपियन एंड 0 अमेरिकन, राइट? यूरोपियन 0 तो नहीं हो सकता, तो इसमें 1 और 2 वाले केसेस आपके पास आते हैं, ठीक है? और क्या हो सकता है? यू कैन हैव 3 चाइनीज and then you can have 1 European and 0 American. So you've listed down all the cases. इसके अलावा और कोई केस नहीं हो सकता. So if you do it in a structured way, तो वो थोड़ा सा आसान हो जाता है in the sense के you tend to not miss out on any case. Okay, यक पास 6 cases हो गए. तो हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? इन सबको separately evaluate करना पड़ेगा और उनको add करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है? So you got these six cases. For the first case, what do we have? Out of 7, we've got to choose 1. 7 में से 1 choose करना है. 7 Chinese में से 1 choose करना है. How many cases do we have for that? 7C1. 6 में से 1 European, that's 6C1. And then out of 4, we've got to choose 2 American, that's 4C2. That's the first row. Then you have 7C1 into 6C2 into 4C1. And then 7C1 into 6C3 into 4C0 and so on. ये सारे आप लिस्ट डाउन करेंगे और इन सबको ऐड कर देंगे. ठीक है? I would recommend that you do write all of them rather than just going to the final answer. Write all of them. उसका फायदा क्या होएगा? इसमें बहुत ज्यादा पॉसिबिलिटी होती है कि आप कैलकुलेटर से गलत आंसर इवैल्यूएट कर दो. If you write down all of this और फिर आप नीचे लिख दो कि आप उसको ऐड कर रहे हो, out of 5 marks you will at least get 4, अगर even if your answer turns out to be wrong. अगर आप ये वर्किंग नहीं शो करते और आपके कैलकुलेटर से गलत वैल्यू आ जाती है, you will hardly get 1 or 2 marks for just showing these cases. आपको 2 marks शायद मिल जाएं cases बनाने के, but you lose out on more marks. So it's safer and it's always better to write down all of this and then you say you're adding them. इन सबको ऐड कर लिया फिर. ठीक है? इन सबको ऐड कर लिया, देखें क्या आता है आपके पास.
1841.
Anybody?
1841. The final answer.
41.
Yes.
Okay. So shop has 7 different mountain bicycles, 5 different racing bicycles, and 8 different ordinary bicycles. The cycling club selects 6 of these 20 bicycles to buy. 6 by Kearney out of 20. How many different selections can be made if there must be no more than 3 mountain bicycles? No more than 3 mountain bicycles. And no more than 2 of each of the other 2 types of bicycles. How do we think about it? इस तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स के अंदर ना हमें अक्सर क्या करना पड़ता है? हमें केसेस बनाने पड़ता है. We can't do this directly because they can no more than 3 mountain bicycles लिखा हुआ है ना. So it could be, you know, any number. It could be 1, it could be 0, it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. बहुत सारे different possibilities हैं. तो आपको देखने पड़ते हैं केसेस आपके पास क्या क्या बनते हैं और हर एक केस को अलग अलग consider करना पड़ता है. So for instance, here we've got 3 different types of cycles. ठीक है? One type is mountain bicycles. That's the first type. Then another type is racing bicycles. And then we have ordinary bicycles. अच्छा. हमें पता है total सबका कितना है? So we've got 7 for mountain, racing are 5 in total, and ordinary are 8 in total. These are the totals that we have. हमें इसमें से 6 select करनी है. ठीक है? अब उसमें हमारे पास conditions क्या दी हुई हैं? No more than 3 mountain bicycles, no more than 2 of each of the other 2 types of bicycles. बाकी में से 2 से ज़्यादा नहीं होनी चाहिए. Okay. Now, is it possible that we do not select any one, that we don't select any bicycle from one type? That may be possible. So, for example, हम कहेंगे अच्छा mountain bicycle हम कोई भी नहीं select करते. Let's assume no more than 3 रखा हुआ है ना, no more than 3 रखा हुआ है, तो हम कहते हैं कि अच्छा let's say mountain bicycle हम कोई भी नहीं select करते. That's one possibility. लेकिन फिर racing और ordinary कितनी होनी चाहिए? वो तो 2 से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकती. तो मैक्सिमम हमारे पास फिर क्या आएगा? 2 2 और टोटल हमारा 6 नहीं बन रहा होगा वहां पे, राइट? तो ये नहीं पॉसिबल कि हम माउंटेन बाइसाइकिल्स को 0 कर दें, बिकॉज द अदर 2 हैव टू बी नो मोर देन 2 एज वेल. तो उनका टोटल जो है मैक्सिमम 4 बन सकता है, मैक्सिमम 4 बन सकता है. तो माउंटेन बाइसाइकिल जो है इसको कम से कम 2 तो होना पड़ेगा. 1 के साथ भी आपका नहीं केस बनेगा कोई. अगर हम इसको 1 करते हो, मैक्सिमम पॉसिबिलिटी रेसिंग और ऑर्डिनरी कितनी होगी? 2 2. वो भी टोटल आपके पास 5 नहीं बनता. सो टोटल 6 नहीं बनता. टोटल हैज टू बी 6. फॉर दैट द फर्स्ट पॉसिबिलिटी यू हैव इज कि माउंटेन बाइसाइकिल आप 2 सेलेक्ट कर लो, और उसके साथ फिर आप रेसिंग 2 सेलेक्ट कर लो और ऑर्डिनरी 2 सेलेक्ट कर लो. दैट कुड बी वन पॉसिबिलिटी. ठीक है. अच्छा, अगर मैं माउंटेन बाइसाइकिल्स 2 रहने दूं, क्या ये हो सकता है कि मैं रेसिंग 3 कर दूं? नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि वो 2 से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकती. क्या मैं ये कर सकता हूँ इसको 1 कर दूं, रेसिंग को 1 कर सकता हूँ मैं?
नहीं सर, अगर आप
नहीं,
माउंटेन को
क्योंकि
2 रखेंगे तो फिर आप रेसिंग को नहीं कर सकते.
उसमें हाँ, पर उसमें ऑर्डिनरी जो है वो 3 करनी पड़ेगी, विच इज नॉट पॉसिबल. ठीक है. तो माउंटेन बाइसाइकिल 2 के साथ और कोई पॉसिबिलिटी हमारी नहीं बन रही. 2 के साथ हमारे पास सिर्फ ये एक केस बन रहा है, 2 2 2. इफ वी select 3 mountain bicycles, what do we have in that case? 3 remaining है
3
उसके
2
बाद.
1 and 3 1 2.
Yeah, so we have 2 cases, 3 2 and then 1, and another possibility could be 3 1 and then 2. These are all the possible cases we have. के लिए इनके अलावा और कोई पॉसिबिलिटीज नहीं. ठीक है. हम क्या करेंगे, इन तीनों केसेस के अलग अलग नंबर ऑफ वेज फाइंड करेंगे, different number of selections find करेंगे. So for the first case, for instance, what do you have to do? Out of 7 mountain bicycles, you've got to select 2. 7 में से 2 select करनी है. So we say 7 C2, and out of the 5 racing bicycles, we have to select 2. That's 5 C2. And out of the 8 ordinary bicycles, we have to select 2. That's 8 C2. Similarly, we do it for the other 2 cases. Second case में क्या होएगा? 7 C3 into 5 C1 into 5 C2 into 8 C1. And then the third case is 7 C3 into 5 C1 into 8 C2. These are the 3 cases that we have. इनमें से कोई भी हो सकता है. There's an or between them. Either the first case or the second case or the third case. We're going to evaluate them and add all of them up. ठीक है. It's a 4-mark question. Do not just write. Sorry?
ऐड क्यों करेंगे? won't we multiply them?
अच्छा, देखें, अगर हम यहाँ पे देख लेना, और as we go from left to right, we are saying we should be selecting 2 mountain bicycles and 2 racing bicycles and ordinary bicycles, right? But between these cases, between the first case and the second case and the third case, we've got an or. कि या तो first case हो सकता है, या फिर second case हो सकता है, या फिर third case हो सकता है. There's an or between them. Only one of these 3 is possible at a time, right? तो और यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं, हम उसको add करेंगे, either this or this or this. Okay? Is that okay?
हाँ जी सर.
What do we get here? अच्छा, यहाँ पे देखें, it's a 4-mark question. इसमें सीधा आंसर नहीं लिख देना. You should write this. ये केसेस आप इस तरह से शो करें, किसी और तरह शो कर दें, that doesn't matter. But ये working आपने जरूर शो करनी है. You'll get 3 marks for this, and then 1 mark for writing down the final answer. So what do you get here? Anyone?
So it's 5880, first one.
The total is 13580.
13580. So that's the result that we get.
Second is 2800. And the third is 4900.
Okay. Now you don't necessarily have to write down these individually. आप ये बेशक पूरा calculator में डाल दें and just write down the final result. So the final result that you get from this is 13580 इन तीनों को add करके. ठीक है? So that's what we do in the first part. Okay. Combinations, we ignore that for now. उसने बाद में कहा है the cycling club buys 3 mountain bicycles, 1 racing bicycle, and 2 ordinary bicycles, and parks them in a cycle rack which has a row of 10 empty spaces. We've got 10 empty spaces. उनमें आपने 6 bicycles park करनी है. ठीक है? How many different arrangements are there in the cycle rack if the mountain bicycles are all together with no spaces between them? The ordinary bicycles are both together with no spaces between them, and the spaces are all together. Achha, stats mein, not just in this topic, in binomial, geometric, normal later as well, the key thing is going to be able to understand the problem correctly. अगर आपको समझ आ जाए सही तरह से, उसके बाद it's not that difficult. Binomial geometric में और मसला होता है. It's quite tricky to understand the problem statement sometimes. So we've got 10 spaces, right? We can think of them as boxes. Let's go. So we're doing the second part. We can say we've got 10 boxes. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we've got 10 boxes. ठीक है? उसमें हमें क्या करना है? इन 6 bicycles को park करना है. All cycles, all the mountain bicycles have to be together. ठीक है? Mountain bicycles कितनी है? 3. So we've got one box that has 3 mountain bicycles. Now remember, these 3 M's are not identical. ये identical नहीं है. ठीक है? M letter नहीं है. M letter तो identical होता है. These are mountain bicycles, right? So they're all different. इनको identical नहीं consider करना. Okay. The ordinary bicycles are both together. So we've got 2 ordinary bicycles. हमारे पास एक box होगा जिसके अंदर हमारे पास 2 ordinary bicycles होंगे. ठीक है? बाकी एक आपकी racing bicycle है, उसका तो एक अलग box होगा. So we have 1 racing bicycle. ठीक है? The spaces are also together. Spaces का भी एक single box होगा. So we've got 4 spaces. How many ways can we arrange this now? Outer boxes देखें कितने हैं आपके पास? 4. इन boxes को arrange करने के कितने ways हो जाएंगे? We've got 4 factorial for the boxes. ठीक है? ये clear है? What about mountain bicycles? इनको arrange करने के कितने ways होंगे? 3 factorial. So we multiply by 3 factorial for the mountain bicycles. What about the ordinary bicycles? 2 factorial. So we multiply by 2 factorial for that. Racing bicycle वो तो एक ही है सिर्फ, उसको तो 1 factorial अगर आप करना चाहें कर सकते हैं, but it doesn't really matter. 4 spaces. वो 4 factorial तो handle कर रहा है ना, वो 4 factorial वही तो handle कर रहा है उनकी सारी arrangements. कहीं पे भी आ
Spaces
सकता
तो
है।
identical होती हैं वैसे। Spaces तो identical होती हैं वैसे।
अब spaces के लिए क्या करें? We've got 4 spaces, but they're identical. तो उनकी arrangements matter नहीं करती हैं. You can either just ignore them, or you can say 4 factorial, but then all of them are identical, so divide by 4 factorial. You can also do that, right? So what do you have? You've got this. ठीक है? So what do we get from this? ये क्या आ जाता है? 24 into 6 into 2. 48 into 6, 240, 288. 288. Okay. अभी देखें, this was 3 marks. Just writing this statement, that's 2 marks, and then 1 mark for the final answer. Okay. Acha. Let's look at the second part, the third part. आंसर का 1 मार्क कट जाएगा और फिर जो आपने एक मिस्टेक होगी you get 1 mark. You lose the mark for the answer and you lose 1 mark for this wrong working. Okay, how many different arrangements? Okay guys, let's do this last part and then we end. How many different arrangements are there in the cycle rack? If the ordinary bicycles are at each end of the bicycles and there are no spaces between any of the bicycles. Okay, let's think of it the same way as before. We had 10 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's look at that condition. The ordinary bicycles have to be at the ends. Ordinary bicycles are at each end of the bicycles. Can we say one is here and the other is here? Because the दरम्यान में spaces नहीं हो सकती हैं. So they are not at the ends. उसने क्या रखा है? There should be no spaces between any of the bicycles. Ordinary bicycles cycles के end पे हैं. एक साइड पे आपकी ordinary bicycles होंगी, दूसरी साइड पे आपकी दरम्यान दोनों साइड से आपकी ordinary bicycles होंगी और 4 आपकी दरम्यान में होंगी. Okay. So now, how many boxes do we make here? 1 box for the 6 bicycles because they all have to be together. There should be no space between the bicycles. वो सारी इकट्ठी होनी चाहिए, right? 6 bicycles जो हैं वो इकट्ठी होंगी. We say this is for the 6 bicycles. Is that okay? But then one इस box के अंदर, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another box inside this. ये आपका एक single box है, ठीक है? ये आपका एक single box है जिसमें 6 bicycles होंगी. इस box के एक side के ऊपर you've got 1 ordinary bicycle. दूसरी side के ऊपर you've got another ordinary bicycle. Let's call them O1 and O2 because they're different. They're not the same. Okay. अब दरम्यान में क्या हो सकता है? There is no restriction for the bicycles that we have in the middle. So you could have anything in the middle. यहाँ पे आपके पास कितनी bicycles रहेगी दरम्यान में? You have 3 mountain, M1, M2, M3, and 1 racing. R. Is that okay? Do we make 1 box for the spaces as well? Yes? Or no? हर space अलग अलग होगी because it doesn't say anywhere that the spaces have to be together. ये तो नहीं कहा कहीं पे. So you could have a situation like this. You've got 1 space on the left side और फिर bicycles हैं और फिर आपके पास 3 spaces right side के ऊपर. That's also a possibility. So spaces का single box नहीं होगा because it doesn't say that they have to be together. Okay. I'm sorry for my drawing. मैंने सिर्फ ये कहा एक example दिया. You can have a situation like this. One space on the left side, 6 mountain bicycles in the middle, and then 3 spaces on the right. This is also possible. ये भी possible है. So spaces का single box नहीं बनेगा. Okay. All right. Now, how do we arrange them? पहले outer boxes को देख लेते हैं. Outer boxes में क्या है? 5 boxes, 5 factorial, but 4 of them are identical. 4 आपकी spaces है. ठीक है? So we divide by 4 factorial because of the spaces. This is 4 identical spaces. हम outer boxes की बात कर रहे हैं अभी. Outer boxes, we had 5 outer boxes. उसमें 4 spaces identical. ठीक है? वो हो गया. Now we look at these bicycles that we have inside. 4 दरमियान में आ रही है. How many number of ways do we have for them? 4 factorial. So we multiply by 4 factorial. But then we can also arrange these ordinary bicycles. That's 2 factorial. Are we missing something? No, that's it. Okay. Is that okay to everyone? So what do we get from this? 4 and 4, they get cancelled. We are left with 120 into 2, which is 240. Again, a one-liner in terms of working, but you have to think before that. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So you've got 9 cards that are numbered 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and so on. We want to place all of those 9 cards in a line, making a 9-digit number. Find how many different 9-digit numbers can be made in this way if the even digits are all together. Even digits all have to be together. How do you figure this out? Okay, sorry. Okay. Box part 1. Okay, so even digits have to be together. How many even digits do we have here? We've got 2, 2, 4, and 6, 6, 6. There are 6 even digits in total. Okay, and there are 3 odd digits. We have to put even digits together. इसका मतलब ये है कि even digits के लिए एक single box बन जाएगा. So we've got 9 boxes in total, but 1 box for the even digits. This box has the even numbers, which are 2, 2, 4, 6, 6, 6. ठीक है? या कुछ 6 even numbers यहाँ पर आ गए. How many numbers are we left with? We're left with 3 numbers. 1, 2, 3. उसमें क्या क्या आ सकता है आपके पास? You can have 1, 3, and 3. Okay. Now, how many ways do we have here? Outer boxes कितने हैं total? There are 4 outer boxes. So that's 4 factorial for the outer boxes. But then how many of them are identical? There are 2 identical, 3 or 3. Yeah, because boxes identical होंगे. So we have 2 factorial because of that. Okay, इसकी वजह से हमने क्या किया? 2 factorial से divide कर दिया. Now we look at the inner box. Inner box में क्या है? We've got 6 numbers in total, so that's 6 factorial. But then some of them are repeated. There are 2 2s. So we've got 2 factorial because of that, and there's 3 6s. We've got 3 factorial in the denominator because of that. ठीक है, so it's exactly the same concept. बस letters की जगह पे हमारे पास numbers आ गए, यहाँ पे digits आ गए. So what do we get from this? Anyone?
720.
720. So this turns out to be 720. Okay, that was 4 marks. So now once you've done a few questions like this, you know, this is easy 4 marks for you now, right? Relatively easier. Okay, let's look at the next one. So this was 1A. Now the second part says, if the first and last digits are both odd, okay, first or last दोनों odd होने चाहिए. How many odd numbers do we have? We've got 3 odd numbers, right? 1, 3, 3. How many letters do we have in total? We've got 9 letters in total. So again, we've got 9 spaces in total. Total तो 9 spaces ही हैं हमारे पास उसी तरह से. But then the numbers at the ends are fixed. ठीक है, वो या तो 1 हो सकता है या 3 हो सकता है. दरमियान वाले जो numbers हैं, they can be anything. They can be anything. और उनमें क्या हो सकता है? We have how many places in the middle? We've got 9 places. Sorry, get the total to 9. We've got 7 places in the middle. So 1, 2, 3. Sorry. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7 places in the middle. अब यहाँ पे आपके पास बाकी numbers आ रहे होंगे, which are 2, 2, 4, 6, 6, 6. But then one other number, या तो 1 होएगा वो या 3 होएगा. 1 या 3 में से कुछ होगा. तो ये 6 numbers हैं और 7th number जो है, this is either going to be 1 or 3. तो ये जो दरमियान वाले numbers हैं, इनकी arrangements तो काफी obvious है, right? How many are they going to be? They are just going to be 7 factorial, right? Because we've got 7 different numbers. 2 जो है वो 2 आ रहे हैं, so that's 2 factorial. और जो 3 है वो भी हमारे पास 6 है वो 3 आ रहे हैं, 3 times आ रहे हैं, so that's 3 factorial. जो दरमियान वाले numbers हैं, that's pretty obvious. This is what we've got for them. Okay. अच्छा, अब मसला है कि sides पे क्या आएगा. It's actually a better idea to start from the ends here, लेकिन यहाँ पे ends वाला जो है वो affect नहीं कर रहा middle वाले part को, so we could actually do it either way. But generally हम क्या करते हैं, we start from the case that has some restrictions applied. तो यहाँ पे restriction क्योंकि end के ऊपर है, तो हमें वैसे end से start करना चाहिए. इस question के अंदर didn't really matter, but actually हम start करते हैं end से. अच्छा, I'm sorry, my airport stopped working. Just change that. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. अच्छा, अब देखिए साइड्स पे क्या हो सकता है. साइड, ओके गुड, थैंक यू. साइड्स पे क्या हो सकता है? 1, आपके पास कितने ones हैं? You've got 1, 1 and 2 3s. That's what we got. Okay, 1, 1 and 2 3s. अब साइड्स पे या तो आपके पास 1 आ सकता है एक साइड के ऊपर, दूसरी साइड पे 3 हो सकता है. That's one possibility, right? या इसका ऑपोजिट हो सकता है. इसका ऑपोजिट हो सकता है, यानी कि 3 1 हो सकता है. That's the other case. वन 3 हो गया, या फिर आपके पास क्या हो सकता है? 3 1 हो सकता है. 3 इधर और 1 इधर. और क्या पॉसिबिलिटी हो सकती है? You can have 3 here or and 3 here. 3 1 हो सकता है, 1 3 हो सकता है, 3 3 हो सकता है. These are the 3 options that we've got for the ends, right? तो ends के लिए हम क्या कर सकते हैं? हम कह सकते हैं ends के ऊपर we've got 3 possibilities. तो इसको आप क्या कर सकते हो? इसको 3 से मल्टीप्लाई कर दो, right? So ये दरमियान वाले numbers के cases हैं. Ends में we've got 3 possibilities. So we multiply this by 3 into this thing. 3 into this. Because of these 3 cases that we've got at the ends. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
तो एक केस हमारा था 3-1, एक case है 1-3, एक case है 3-3. So there are 3 cases that we've got for the ends. So we've got just 3 for that. Right? ये क्या represent कर रहा है? Represent कर रहा है ये cases, 3 at the start, and then 1 at the end, 1 at the start, 3 at the end, and then 3 at the start, 3 at the end. Middle में आपके पास वो 7 letters हैं, 7 factorial for that. But then how many of them are repeated? There are 2 2s, 3 6s, उससे हमने divide कर दिया, and that's going to give you a result. Is that okay to everyone? Any problems with this?
Sir, the answer is 1260.
1260. So that's what we get. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's move to the next one. 3 of the 9 cards are chosen and placed in a line. अब वो जो 9 cards थे उनमें से 3 आपने choose किए हैं. Okay. And they're placed in a line making a 3-digit number. Find how many different numbers can be made in this way. How many different numbers can be made in this way? If there are no repeated digits. Part 2 and part A of that. हमारे पास numbers क्या थे? We'll write them here. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. It was, I think, 4, 6, 6, 6. ये था. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 6, 6, 6. Yeah. So these were the numbers that we had. We have to choose 3 cards from that and make a 3-digit number from that. 3 choose करना. ठीक है. How many different numbers can be made if there are no repeated digits? So we have, in a way, 3 boxes. इनमें हमने numbers place करना है. अब numbers repeat नहीं हो सकते हैं, right? अब कितने different numbers हमारे पास हैं? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. ये आपके पास different numbers हैं. इनमें से आपने 3 numbers choose करने हैं और उनको यहाँ पे place कर देना. Right? So how many options do we have for the first box? We've got 5 options. Second box के लिए 4 options. Third box के लिए 3 options. You can just multiply them. And that's one possibility. Or you can just say 5 numbers हैं, उनमें से आपने 3 arrange करने हैं. So that's 5p3, and that's going to give you something. Okay? यहाँ पे उसने कहा था repeat नहीं हो सकते digits, क्योंकि repeat नहीं हो सकते, that means you've got only 5 options. Right? एक नंबर एक दफा आ सकते हैं ना, तो आपने वो unique numbers देख लिए 1 2 3 5 1 2 3 4 6 और उनमें से देख लिया कि आपके पास 3-digit numbers आपके कितने बन सकते हैं. So you've got 5 objects, 3 places. You have to arrange the objects. That's 5p3. Okay? ये आपके पास क्या आता है?
Sir, 60.
60. Okay, so 5p3, that gives you 60. We've got 60 ways of doing this. So that's the result here. Any problems with this?
No.
Any problems with this? No?
सर कॉम्बिनेशन तो नहीं हो सकता.
उसने कहा है. Okay, so that's a good point. क्योंकि उसने कहा है choose करना है, right? लेकिन उसके बाद क्या है? They are placed in a line to make different numbers from that. अब देखिए जब भी numbers की बात हो रही है, आपने numbers बना रहे हैं, तो 432 and 423, these are different numbers. Even though digits वही हैं, ये जो use हो रहे हैं, लेकिन इसमें arrangement हमेशा matter करती है. Numbers जब आप बना रहे हो कोई, उसमें arrangement हमेशा matter करती है, because you're not selecting the digits. वो select करने के बाद आपने उनको arrange करना है उनको. ठीक है? So one way you could think about it using combinations is, क्योंकि आपके पास वो कीवर्ड यहाँ पे यूज हो रहा है, so that's probably the confusion कि उसने यहाँ पे चूज करने का कहा हुआ है, right? लेकिन उसके बाद आप क्या कर रहे हो? You're making different numbers out of that. So another way to think about this could have been that you choose 3 numbers out of those 5. In 5 में से आप 3 numbers choose कर लो, right? Just like you're saying, we could say let's choose 3 out of these 5 numbers. So that's 5C3. आपने 3 numbers choose कर लिए. अब कोई भी 3 numbers आपने choose किए, let's assume you have chosen 1, 2 and 3. अब ये 1, 2, 3 से हम कितने different numbers बना सकते हैं? 3 digit. We can have 1, 3, 2. We can have 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. There are 6 numbers that we can make from this. तो हम क्या कहते हैं? हम देखते हैं उन 3 numbers को कितने ways में हम arrange कर सकते हैं. 3 numbers को कितने ways में arrange कर सकते हैं? 3 factorial ways के अंदर. So this could have been another way to think about this. Choose 3 objects and then arrange those 3 objects because we're looking for different numbers, and that's going to give you the same thing. इससे भी आपको 60 ही मिल जाएगा. लेकिन क्योंकि आपने नंबर बनाने ना एंड के ऊपर, तो वो ऑर्डर इवेंचुअली मैटर करता है, राइट? चूज करने के बाद आपने उनको अरेंज करना है. बट दिस कुड बी अनदर वे टू थिंक अबाउट दिस. इट गिव्स यू द सेम थिंग. इज दैट ओके?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the second part says if the number, what happens if the number is between 200 and 300? अब देखिए उसने यहाँ पे restriction नहीं लगाई है कोई. उसने ये नहीं कहा कि numbers repeat नहीं हो रहे. That's not what is given. Numbers repeat हो सकते हैं. But now we've got to figure out कि 200 और 300 के दरमियान में आपके कितने numbers possible. Okay. Now let's list down those digits again. We've got 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 6, 6 and 6. ठीक है, ये हमारे पास 9 different letters, 9 different digits available हैं. We've got to make a number that's between 200 and 300. Okay, so it's still a 2-digit, still a 3-digit number, right? 3-digit number तभी भी है ये. 200 और 300 के दरमियान में. That means the first number has to be 2. There's no other possibility that we've got here. First number का तो 2 होना ही पड़ेगा. Does that make sense? First number को 2 होना पड़ेगा. ये बात सही क्लियर है?
Yes, sir.
Right? Because 200 300 के दरमियान में है. The first digit अगर 1 होगा तो वो छोटा हो जाएगा. First digit अगर 2 से बड़ा होगा तो नंबर बड़ा हो जाएगा. तो first digit में 2 आना चाहिए. तो एक 2 तो हमारे पास यहाँ से खत्म हो गया. ठीक है, so we're done with that. Now we've got 8 other letters. उनमें से आप कोई भी यहाँ पे लेकर आ सकते हो. There are no restrictions on the other letters. Letters repeat भी हो सकते हैं. अब वो आपने यहाँ पे प्लेस करने हैं इन 2 positions के अंदर. ठीक है. Now, how do we do this? ये आप कैसे करें? Okay. अब इस तरह के केसेस में ना आसान तरीका सबसे क्या होता है? Even though it sometimes takes more time, but you can just think of all possible cases. क्या क्या आप कर सकते हो, right? So एक आपके पास for instance first के अंदर अगर आपको ये second letter अगर ये 2 हो जाता, अगर second letter 2 हो जाता, in fact सब छोटे से start कर लेते हैं. हमने 2 तो पहले लिख लिया हुआ है. एक 2 तो आ गया है। फर्स्ट लेटर हमारे पास 1 हो जाता है। 1 के साथ आपके पास और क्या क्या आ सकता है? यू कैन हैव 2, 3, 4, 6। ये 4 पॉसिबल केसेस आपके पास आ सकते हैं विद 1। अगर इसके अंदर फर्स्ट बॉक्स के अंदर हम 1 प्लेस कर दें, इसके अंदर हम 1 प्लेस कर दें, how many options do we have for the third box? We've got 4 options left. 4 options for the third box. ठीक है? अगर हम फर्स्ट बॉक्स के अंदर 2 प्लेस कर दें तो उसमें भी क्या होएगा? अगर सेकंड बॉक्स के अंदर 2 प्लेस कर दें तो उसमें भी हमारे पास थर्ड बॉक्स के अंदर कितने पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं? We still have 4 possibilities because third में फिर 1 आ सकता है, 3 आ सकता है, 4 आ सकता है, 6 आ सकता है. These are the 4 cases that we got there. So we got 4 cases with 2 in the second place here. ठीक है? इसमें आपको 4 cases, यहाँ से भी 4 cases आ गए. You can just do them together as well because आपके पास 1 और 2 ऐसे numbers हैं और 4 ऐसा नंबर, ये 3 numbers ऐसे हैं जो सिर्फ एक एक दफा आ रहे हैं, तो सिर्फ एक एक दफा आ रहे हैं। तो इन तीनों के आपके पास केसेस क्या बनेंगे? इन तीनों के पास 4 केसेस बनेंगे। हर एक केस के लिए आपके पास जो है वो 4 पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं। इसमें 4 पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं, सॉरी, इसमें भी 4 पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं, इसमें भी 4 पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं। अगर आपके पास 4 आ जाता मिडिल में, उसमें भी आपके पास थर्ड नंबर में क्या क्या पॉसिबिलिटीज हो सकती थी? 1, 2, 3 और 6। इन चारों में से कोई आ सकता था। ठीक है? So, इसमें भी आपके पास 4 पॉसिबिलिटीज हो गई। सो यू गॉट 4 केसेस के पास। इसमें भी यू गॉट 4 केसेस। ठीक है? सो दैट्स वन पॉसिबिलिटी, दैट्स वन पॉसिबिलिटी। अब और क्या हो सकता है? यू कुड हैव द अदर लेटर्स जो रिपीट हो रहे हैं। पहला तो अभी भी फिक्स्ड है, बाकी लेटर्स जो रिपीट हो रहे हैं उसमें से क्या हो सकता है? यू कैन हैव 3 इन द सेकंड प्लेस। अगर 3 आपके पास सेकंड प्लेस में आ जाए, how many options do we have for the third place? थर्ड डिजिट में क्या क्या पॉसिबिलिटीज हो सकते हैं? थर्ड डिजिट में क्या क्या पॉसिबिलिटीज हो सकते हैं? सेकंड प्लेस पे 3 आ गया, थर्ड डिजिट क्या क्या हो सकता है? कितने पॉसिबल नंबर्स आ सकते हैं थर्ड में? एनीवन? अगर मैं सेकंड प्लेस पे 3 रख देता हूँ, how many options do we have for the last box there? कितने ऑप्शंस बचे? 1 भी आ सकता है, 2 भी आ सकता है, 3 भी आ सकता है बिकॉज मैंने एक 3 प्लेस किया वहां पे, दूसरा 3 तो आ सकता है, 4 भी आ सकता है, 6 भी आ सकता है। We've got 5 possibilities in this case for the last digit. We have 5 cases here. ये 5 cases बन गए। And similarly, अगर आपके पास second place के अंदर 6 होता, we have the same logic there. अगर second place में 6 आ गया है, अब 6 भी क्योंकि repeat हो सकता है, so we can have 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, any of those 5 numbers in the last place. So we've got 5 cases for this as well. So how many cases do we have in total? We've got 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12 plus 10, that's 22 cases. So we've got 22 possible numbers that we can make from these digits that are between 200 and 300. Is that okay? आप ये भी कर सकते थे इसमें कि ये एक केस फाइंड कर लेते हैं फर्स्ट वाले में, फिर आपको पता है 3 इस तरह के केसेस होते हैं बिकॉज ये 1 के साथ भी ये केस है, 2 के साथ ये केस है, 4 के साथ भी ये केस है, तो आप कर लेते 4 times 3 or the other way around if you want, 3 times क्या चीज हो रही है? 4 वाला केस, and then the repeated digits are 3 and 6, उन दोनों का सेम केस होएगा। So the last 2 cases में 5 आपके पास number of ways बन रहे हैं दोनों के अंदर। There are 2 such cases, so that's 2 into 5, इन दोनों को ऐड कर लें That will give the same thing. That's 22.